The other morning I was picking up trash along the road just basically to get my exercise. That might have been about 8 weeks ago. And got that job done, and my wife tells me a few days later that there's a whole bunch of trash out there where I just picked up. So me with my bad attitude, not really understanding why people finish their snacks and dinners and throw it out, I'm out there picking up this trash. And I found this envelope, and the man's name was on there and an address. And I'm thinking, what should I do with this? Should I pick it up and take it to his place? And I thought that probably is not a good idea. Then as I was picking it up with my bad attitudes, God just said, Dan, maybe there's a reason that I've allowed you to find this, and why don't you check it out? Why don't you take this address and what I've shown you and see if this guy has any needs? I said, that sounds good. So about 6 weeks later, as God kept talking to me about my commitment to check that out, I decided I've got to get this done. And so one morning after my bike ride on a Sunday morning, I found his address, I knocked on his door, and I backed up. And over a process of about 10 or 15 minutes, I finally got a chance to speak with him, and just to share with him who I am. I told him that I'm a Christian, and it's kind of weird that I show up when he doesn't even know who I am. But I said, there might be a possibility that God wanted me to come over here and introduce myself to you and see if you have any needs. It's a tough time going on right now, and so I want to ask you, do you have any needs? And he said, not really, not that he could think of, but he said, I'm a Christian too. And I said, that's great. And so we got to know each other, and I got his phone number, and I've been in contact, texted him a few times, and so one morning I stopped over on a Sunday morning and asked him how he's doing, and he came to the door and he had a mask on, and he said, stay away. He says, I think I have the virus. He said, I'm quarantined now, I'm not working anymore. And I said, oh man, I am sorry to hear that. Well, you know, I'm going to continue to pray for you and hope you and your family, you know, gets through this in somehow a good way. So I go back home, and 5 days later, I'm thinking about, you know, the commitment that I had, first of all, to go see him and introduce myself and get to know him. And then God almost asked me, he said, so what are you doing to help him out at this time? I said, yeah, right. So I said, I got to go buy him some groceries. So I went, picked up some groceries, and went over and took him over to his place, knocked on the door. Then I think it may have been his wife that came to the door, and then possibly an adult sister that came to the door, asking me who I am. And I said, I was the guy that's kind of introducing myself and bothering your husband. But I said, I bought some groceries, and I know you guys are quarantined. Could you use these? They said, wow, yes, we could, thank you. And so I started taking 4 or 5 bags of groceries and laying them there at the door. And they kept saying, thank you, and God bless you. That's a pretty cool thing. Pastor Jeff has been sharing with us in Colossians 3:4. It says, when Christ, who is your real life, is revealed to the whole world, then we get to share in his glory. It's an awesome thing.